Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for June 23rd, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufa, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2022-0D00012, State of Texas versus Crystal Lynn Guillen. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And Todd Dunham for Miss Crystal Guillen. Good morning, Your Honor. We are ready.
And we're set for a final judges conference. Ms. Guillen is in custody. Mr. Dunham, you're waiving her presence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you wanted to approach the court on something, Mr. Dunham?
Yes, ma'am. At our last hearing, we had requested Ms. Guillen be released on a PR bond. The complaining witness has signed a non-prosecution affidavit, which the state has. The court, Your Honor, you indicated that you stated that you would reconsider bond once she has a mental health plan set up. Ms. Guillen does have some mental health issues. You wanted to make sure that she had treatment in place for when she is released. So since that hearing, I've been working with Ms. Lourdes Garcia and others at the jail regarding this. She does have an appointment set. I have that documentation that came in yesterday. The appointment document itself came in encrypted, and I don't have the tech abilities right now to figure out how to unencrypt it to send to the court. But it is set for the end of this month on, I'd have to find it real quick, but it's set for the end of this month with EHN. I did send Ms. King and this court the record of her medication. She's been taking all her medications as required while she's in custody. There was another report that I did attach on her status, but I want to point out to the court that I'm not sure why Ms. Garcia sent that to me again yesterday. That's from April 21st, which was prior to our last hearing. At that point, Ms. Guillen was having difficulties and was not cooperating. But since our last hearing, I spoke to Ms. Guillen. She is cooperating with EHN. She is taking her medications, and she does have a treatment plan that she is on board with. Unfortunately, I don't believe Ms. Garcia is going to be at this hearing, and I do not have a current report from her.
When are we set for trial, and what is the rec in this case?
Your Honor, the rec is 5 years deferred with the deadly weapon findings, and for that aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and I will dismiss the other 2 counts. Backup jury trial is set for August 12th.
Okay. All right. And that's after considering the non-pros?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. So Mr. Dunham, for my purposes, I do want to have eyes on Miss Guillen in terms of the bond, just to see how she's doing. And maybe that will give Miss Garcia an opportunity to come in. Do you have an exact date? You said the end of June, because I want to put this for Tuesday's jail docket.
Yes, let me pull that document up. Give me 1 second. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. It is the 28th of June at 2 p.m. with Ms. Maria Canizales, LPC.
So that would be the exact date that we would have our continuation or evaluation of the bond. My thought is that Ms. Garcia can probably get her another appointment fairly quickly. If she was able to do that when or at least my experience with Ms. Garcia is that those appointments they can coordinate them very closely to either any potential release date. But I do want to see her demeanor. I want to see if that conforms with, maybe we even get an updated report from Ms. Garcia. And beyond that, I may be okay with it. I'll just have to look at it. But Myrna, if we can put this for a bond hearing and reset of the final judges conference at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Mr. Dunham, I don't know if you've had any firsthand contact, if it's, a conversation you're having with Ms. Garcia, but if you would inquire about an updated report, if there is one. I don't necessarily need her to go out of the way to redo any type of evaluation if she's updated other things in terms of the treatment plan, the appointment. Obviously, that's been done. I just don't want to necessarily put any more work on her plate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And I have requested that. I'm hoping to get a response today.
Great. You may just kind of looking forward, give Ms. Garcia the heads up about having to get her a new appointment so they don't save that June 28th slot for her.
So that you're advising to get a new appointment for a later date or an earlier date?
Correct. Well, she's not going to make that June 28th appointment because we're
Yes,
going to
ma'am.
have
Okay.
that day. So,
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may.
Thank you.
So I see a couple of folks, Ms. Caballero's here. Is that right? Or is that, yes.
Yes, we're ready on Nelson.
I don't want to take care of Nelson yet. I want to take care of Ms. Caballero's case first.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In cause number 2021-0D03011, State of Texas versus Juan Antonio Rodriguez. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Teresa Caballero on behalf of Mr. Rodriguez.
And Mr. Rodriguez is in custody.
In jail.
I believe we have a backup trial date in December, and I thought we were going
Yes,
to our July date. So is there any updates on this one?
just that it looks like a trial, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have a
And-
rec, Ms. King?
I know, Your Honor, that there's been an understanding that there's going to be trial.
Okay, if we're in agreement that we're going beyond the July trial date, Myrna, please go ahead and cancel out the final hearing plea deadline and the trial setting in July. Ms. Caballero, that's your understanding as well?
Yes, yes, it is, Your Honor.
There's a lot of
And-
feedback, Ms. Caballero. I can't hear you. I have.
I'm
the
very
jet.
sorry. Yes, please cancel the July dates. And thank you.
Okay, so with that, if there are any motions that require a hearing, please email them to the court. Myrna, we have lead up settings going into that December date or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all righty, then we'll see you then. Thank you, Ms. Caballero.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And then let's also take care of Mr. Anchondo's cases or case, Ms. Rascon.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning.
I'm here on a status conference on Sonia Rascon. I've been given the recommendations from the state. I have not been going through quite a bit of things in the last month and a half, so
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to go out and speak with her, but the Rex, I'm gonna go probably this week or next week, and then I will let the state know what she's decided.
Let me ask really quickly. Thank you, Mr. Anchondo. Let me just ask really quickly. When is our next setting and what's the rec on Ms. Rascon?
Your Honor, this is actually a BPU case that I'm covering. The rec that I see is 10 TDC on this cause number and to decline the new meth possession case or 7 TDC on both. And the next setting we have is set for August 2nd, final judges conference.
That is correct, Judge.
Okay, then I just assume, Mr. Anchondo, stick with those dates. And if your understanding of the rec is different, I'm sure you'll speak with the unit and get that cleared out. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse.
You may, take care. Okay, so now we have Ms. Nelson, right? There's no one else?
Correct, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2021-0D0-2380, State of Texas versus Clevy Nelson. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King and co-counsel Michelle Hill for the state. We're ready, Your Honor.
Brock Benjamin for Miss Nelson. I believe Miss Nelson's here, Your Honor, and I've been trying to get Mr. Lopez, but I think everybody is on the same sheet of music. We'd like to try and proceed if we could have the discussion now, Your Honor.
Sure, and thank you for logging in a little bit early. I know everybody's been trying to work with everyone's schedule for purposes of the record. Yes, Ms. Nelson is appearing remotely as well. So as the last 2 years has kind of taught us, all plans get foiled by COVID. And so I had seen up until the point, I guess after our hearing on Tuesday, that you all had been working on being able to proceed forward on an in-person motion to suppress hearing this afternoon. Obviously, I could not accommodate that. And I honestly, when trying to think of possibly getting you all a visiting judge or something like that, it just seemed to be very last minute. I didn't know if you all would agree. And so, this one's on the court because I really would have liked if you all were available this afternoon at 1:30 and witnesses were available to have had that hearing because that is definitely one that the court was of the opinion was not necessarily going to be hampered by all this discovery, downloading, technology, whatever. So my apologies to you all for that. Let me ask on the motion to suppress, has anything else developed or is it just a matter of scheduling it, the hearing?
Your Honor, it's just a matter of scheduling it to have it heard. And it's not from our point of view, I don't think it's going to be a long process. I think the court, it's a fairly simple legal and testimony issue.
Mm-hmm. So let me go back to probably what has been one of the issues. What's your schedule like, Mr. Benjamin? Are you done? Are you waiting on a verdict still? What's going on?
I've been convicted, Your Honor. So we are done and available.
Okay.
Court's pleasure.
Go ahead, Ms. King.
If I may, we did speak to the two detectives that will be testifying for the motion to suppress. One of them will actually be out for starting next week for 2 weeks, and she will not be available until that week of July 11th. The only.
And Your Honor, Miss reached out to me and just said that I had seen the court status for the 13th of July, Your Honor, and have moved a hearing that was out of town, but have moved that on the theory that if that works for the court, I was going to make it work, Your Honor. So we're set. I can be ready for contested motions on the 13th if the court's still doing that, or the rest of that week, I believe.
Okay, well, let me ask you one last question. Are you open to having a visiting judge hear the motion to suppress?
Yes, sure.
Okay, Myrna, would you please contact, I don't know if it would be counsel or the other Judge Perez to check on both Judge Burrell or Judge Alcala's availability to handle an in-person hearing. And then it would be, I would think just in the event we could get them would be tomorrow. So I need to know if you all can, mostly I guess I'm asking the state if Brock, your calendar's freed up.
It is.
Then I would just ask the state about their witness availability.
Yes, Your Honor, July 13 works. They will be back from their trip.
So my question is about, I know this sounds terrible, but about tomorrow.
I cannot. I have the approved vacation.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm unavailable. I apologize. I had to come from my office. My computer crashed. With regard to tomorrow, Your Honor, I have approved a vacation tomorrow. So I won't be here in the afternoon. I'm not available.
Aye. But something is telling me everything is trying to get you your continuance. Because the court, I mean,
certainly, I said I was available, but I will certainly tell the court I mean, I've asked for, and it's a joint continuance, but yes, I mean.
Here's my problem. If I could have myself or maybe with another judge gotten you in on Monday, I think I'm supposed to like not isolate anymore as of Saturday, and I could just mask up really good. Try and do it Monday, but now state's witnesses are not available starting Monday for 2 weeks. Miss Hill Miss Hill is not available tomorrow. So unless we could scramble, and I'd hate to do that, to have a hearing this afternoon with me, another judge, I just don't know. I mean, I feel like it's pushing it too much.
And respectfully, Your Honor, my issue is not the suppression as I represented the court. It's a simple suppression. I mean, I'm never a fan of carrying things with trial suppressions, but it's not exactly it's going to change. It's not going to change the makeup of this case a whole. What will change the makeup of this case I can represent to the court, I think, is me digging through Malcolm's computer. And I haven't been able to do that, Your Honor. And I can put other issues on other items of that on the record, but that's my concern. We're essentially in the same place we were in December. I've gone through.
Yeah, that was my point, Brock. I know you weren't able to be at the hearing, but that was my point, is that the arguments on the continuance are basically all the same arguments that we had back in December that kind of prompted, I think it was the defense's first motion for continuance because of the potential for any information that might be on these digital devices. And lo and behold, we go 3 months. Again, I don't want to rehash everything we did on Tuesday. The court was very frustrated that we were, again, basically at square one. Maybe not square one in terms of effort, but we lost essentially 3 months, and now we have all these technical issues.
The court, I bought
Your Honor, and I'm sorry, this overspeak, Brock. And Mr. Benjamin and myself, we have been addressing these issues ongoing because they developed as we've gone. Once we were able to get the extraction, it wasn't in a proper format. We then provided it as stated, on a flash drive. And once he got to that portion of the flash drive was when he was made aware of the fact he couldn't get into the audio and media. And as I stated, this is a voluminous amount of data. And, we did everything on our end to ensure that we could,
I understand. I hear all that. And honestly, to me, it's just the fact that the court is not available that is probably getting me to reconsider your motion for continuance. Because the July 13th date, Brock, if I remember correctly, was a hearing that I wanted scheduled prior to that July 22nd date because there are several outstanding motions. And in the court's opinion, a handful at least that do not rely or are impacted in any way with, the decedent's laptop or any data. When you're talking about challenging certain experts, I don't think any of those have anything to do with it. There were motions to depose witnesses, have never been requested to have a hearing or ruled upon, and so my frustration was that I needed to wrangle in what is live, what is being urged, what are we doing, because trial was July 22nd.
Your Honor, respectfully, I've asked for, and I believe we've asked the court for a setting, but the issue with the depositions, Ms. Hills, I'll let her address it, but I mean, her position is she hasn't been able to review some of the stuff in order to discuss the cooperator's testimony, and the court ordered that the disclosure of the cooperation agreement be disclosed. I think it was a week or two after the December hearing, but irrespective, a lot of that hinges on. I'll be honest, Your Honor, I do a lot of federal work. This is the largest dump I've had to deal with, and it's crashed. And as I said earlier, I bought a new computer for that purpose, and it didn't make a whole lot of change in where we're at. And so, Your Honor,
in terms of what we're doing going forward, Yeah, well, I guess we're not going to scramble on that motion to suppress. However, I need to know by the end of this week, Brock, exactly what we can have heard on, oh, I guess the next setting, which for now is July 13th. Okay,
I will get with the state, Your Honor. I'll notify the court, but I will be we can be ready and able to proceed on any of the motions, because I think if the state's position is X, then, I know what my position is. So, but I will.
I hear you there, but as it turned out, the state was ready to go forward on the motion to suppress on Tuesday, had their witnesses, and nobody was on the same page there. Mr. Lopez was not ready to proceed, and Miss Nelson objected to going forward with Mr. Lopez without you there. So
I told the court that if I was still in Judge Montalvo's court, that I would not be available on the 21st. I think that was a week ahead of time. And so,
but Mr. Lopez was not prepared.
Your Honor,
he wasn't up to speed. He was, that's not, if somebody is coming in your stead, right? He is co-counsel, right? I mean, it really was just a waste of time. I mean, it was a waste of time and effort there. And so I don't want that to happen again. That's what I do not want to happen. And again, it's at a very late stage, where we're a month out from trial and we're still just kind of trying to light the fire here to get things going. I understand the technical or technological hurdles that you all are experiencing. I do, but there are some basic things that I don't know why we're waiting. If they are not responding in some sense, if the state is not responding on any issue, then with even more reason, you should be, re-urging with the court, asking for hearings. These things need to be moved because Mr. Benjamin, you, especially because this case is one of a handful of cases where, ultimately the issue was back in December that the state had not worked up the case, period. So I feel like, it's on a lot of the responsibility is on you when those things are not happening to be pressing them. And so, we get to a point where we find out, okay, laptop March, and then the week before we have a hearing in June, we're scrambling with this person who's trying to get you all the data. I mean, that's not diligent. It's not, I guess,
And Your Honor, I will represent to the court, and should the court care to, I will go ex parte. I have a very specific trial strategy based upon some of the material reviewed, and that is why I am digging my heels in to have the remainder of the materials reviewed, because quite frankly, there is gold in those hills, Your Honor. And so I can tell you that's why I'm not. Okay. I'll represent to the court, Your Honor, that based upon what I've seen, there is a very large need to review the remainder of the materials, and that's my position, Your Honor.
Okay.
On behalf of the state, with regard to the same issue, we want to be able to go through all of that information in case there's something that's exculpatory, based on some of the conversations that we've had.
I understand. That's exactly what we said back in December. I think we were all on the same page in December. So I know it wasn't scheduled per se today, but just in light of the circumstances, the court is going to rescind its denial of the joint motion for continuance. So the September, I believe, Myrna, if you'll double check me on this, I have two dates. I think one is August 19th, if memory serves, the other is September 30th. I am, as the parties were requesting at the hearing, a September setting, I believe latter September, that September 30th date seems to coincide with that, with the party's request. I am going to leave the July 13th hearing date. That will be in the afternoon. I will leave that as is right now, but I can tell you all there is a decent possibility that will change. And what I mean it changing is that it may have to be pushed back a week or so. I honestly really need to get a handle on some of the court scheduling for that week. Let me ask you, Mr. Benjamin, are you out you're trying anything that will make you unavailable in the mid to early August, mid-July, early August window?
I have 3 trials set in August that I believe all 3 will go, Your Honor. Yes.
Starting when?
I've been, Your Honor, I've tried 3 cases this year. I've got 3 set specifically in August that are on. One of it is a detained individual. The other 2 are not. One's a civil case.
Then I will target the month of July to square away any hearings. It'll be the Nelson month for all pretrial hearings. I just know that we have a pretty busy trial schedule for the 14th, 15th, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Valles was reset to the 22nd. But that leaves us time to do other things. Sorry, Ms. King. I will keep that in mind with the scheduling. And in which case, then that'll get us to probably some type of status at the beginning of September. Mr. Benjamin, I am, asking that, because for a lot of these things, it sounds like you're going to have a pretty busy schedule. If Mr. Lopez is appearing, he needs to be prepared to handle whatever is happening. Okay. If your client is in agreement, not in agreement, then that's for you all to square away. But, he's co-counsel. And
Your Honor, Mr. Lopez is very competent, very capable co-counsel. But why he was selected, Your Honor. But at the same token, Your Honor, and I don't want to bicker with the court, Your Honor, but that was not my understanding in speaking with the state was that we had been told to represent whether or not we were available, and in discussing it with the state, that's why I thought we were having the hearing on Friday, because we were not available. I was not available on Tuesday, and so. But Your Honor, I understand the course.
I'm just letting you know for the future, because I don't want to be in that position again. You seem to be very busy. And if Mr. Lopez is, he's jumping in because he's co-counsel, and for my purposes, the court's purposes, it's as if it's you. Okay.
We'll address that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Judge,
Sunday.
just for clarification, you asked me to call for Judge Muriel or in Alcala?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay. And then the September 30th is available.
Okay, so we'll set them specially set for trial. What panels do we have for the 30th, Mr. Marufo, if any?
We have on the 29th, we have 100 at Commissioner's Court. And then on the 30th, we have 2 panels of 60 here in the courtroom, Judge.
Oh, great. So we're already set up for you guys. So then your trial date is the 29th and the 30th. Okay.
And Your Honor, I understood we had been discussing mid-September, like the 12th. That's not going to happen, Your Honor?
No, it's going to be September 30th, and now it's the 29th and the 30th. Why? You have another trial?
I've got another issue, but it's not one I'm planning on raising right now, Your Honor. But so I guess I was just.
Let me tell you, Mr. Lopez said, unless either you or Mr. Lopez went, he said, drop dead. We're ready to go on September.
Right. Operate under the September 12th idea. Is what we've been.
Everybody talked about that date, or at least the court wasn't discussing that date. I just assumed no, if you're able to say what the issue is, because I don't want to get to September and find out that people aren't available.
I understand, Your Honor, and it's a personal issue. That's that the 3rd through the 7th is fall break, but I don't think that's going to rate. I don't think that's court's radar.
Okay, so we're set for the 29th and 30th, with the final hearing plea deadline being the Tuesday before. I think we can wait till the 13th setting for any other interim settings. Like I said, anticipate something early September, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.